politics works best when there is a unifying principle that guides the oppositions, because there's always people always have different interests in mind. Like I said, some want to go fast and progress. Others want to slow down and conserve. Conservatism, liberalism, which means freedom. And we want to be free to explore and think outside the box. And the conservative part says, hey, you aren't even capable of thinking outside the box unless you know how to think inside the box. So conservatives think inside the box and they protect those borders really carefully. That's, that's like they really honor and defend categories. They don't like people who mess with basic categories, like the difference between the sexes, right? Anybody who says that men and women are the same in all respects, that's a violation of a basic category. Because, throughout history, women have always been a protected class. But now we're in a situation where we're so opulent that we've mitigated those differences between the sexes, and we have we have a legal system that it doesn't work. I mean, women are always at threat. All the women that I know, and I'm sure you hear, you don't go outside without feeling a little bit of a sense of danger. That's the way it's always been for women. And we know that. And so our society was built on the protection of women. On the conservative side, what that means is keep them barefoot and pregnant in the home. That's the extreme of that. On the liberal side is that women can do anything. They don't need to have children. And if they get pregnant, they can abort the pregnancy. And they can have a career. They can have it all, except for kids, right? So what the demographers are discovering now is that the more opulent or financially advanced a country becomes, the birth rate always goes down. Not just sometimes, always the birth rate goes down. And what we're seeing now in many countries is that replacement, there's not enough babies being born to replace the parents. So the population is going down. And if it keeps going that way, then eventually that society will go out of existence. There won't be such a thing as China or the United States or Europe. It will be completely transformed into something else. You'll lose the culture if you cannot replace the people who make up the culture. So that, some people will say, well, good, because so many cultures are so antiquated and archaic that they need to go, the people who attack the system. But we have to look at our system in the West, which is predicated on the rule of law. Other countries aren't like that. A lot of other countries are theocracies or they're dictatorships or some form of the blend of the two. What we're trying to do, not doing a good job of it at all, what we are trying to do is to subordinate everyone to a consensual body of laws, meaning something we all agree to. That's our law, that's our legal system. We're going to stick with it, and it doesn't matter who you are, how much money you've got, or how much power you have. You break the law, you're held accountable. See, that's a good system. Like I say, we haven't seen it yet. There's corruption everywhere, but corruption is not. You can't blame the system for the corruption of the system. System can be perfect, but if corruption is prevalent enough, it's going to completely obscure the system, and it'll covertly be something else entirely. While it says, "Oh yeah, we have this idea, the rule of law," we're not going to follow it. You're going to follow it. But us big boys, we're going to do whatever the hell we want. And there's nothing you can do about it. See, so that's a complete subversion of the principle of the rule of law. It just reestablishes a monarchy. It's just instead of a crown, they got a logo, right? It's like GM or AT&T or whatever, you know, the General Electric, some of the Raytheon, some of the biggest companies in the world. They're the ones who are actually running the show. So, and the reason they're running the show is because of the collusion they have with government. But then, you know, the tail starts wagging the dog. The government becomes a tool of these big companies, these multinational corporations. They don't care. You know, they are concerned with one thing, and that's order. They want the large corporate interests. The main thing that they want is orderliness, because they want to go to different parts of the world and extract the resources of a given location. But in order to do that, they have to be, because they're going to invest billions, or if not more, into an infrastructure to extract, you know, say it's a mineral. That's a big operation, and that takes decades to develop and really get into full swing. No big company is going to want to go into a third world country that's in danger of being taken over by a dictator, because the first thing dictators do, or a people's revolution, what they do is they nationalize all the companies that are doing business in their country. Therefore, the big companies that go into a country like that, they're going to lose their investment, billions and billions of dollars, because, and then when the people take over, and the people are never the people are always just a group of dictators claiming to be acting in the name of the people, but they're not. They're acting in their own interests. They, you know, they have a front that says, we're liberating you, and on the other side, they're saying, hey, we're taking it all. So that's the situation that we're faced with.